Om Shanti. We've been talking about Raja Yoga और अभी दीपक जी एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट ले रही है कि मेडिटेशन की टेक्निक क्या है. बड़ी बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग सब्जेक्ट और इस पर पूरा इतना ध्यान दें इतना हमारा फायदा है. थैंक यू.
Meditation is something which we have been listening to, which everyone, all our speakers are mentioning about it, that Raj Yoga is a very beautiful method of meditation which we need to learn to experience this silence, experience this natural state of being light, easy, positive. So every time you hear this word and you've been practicing it automatically, because every session you begin with some moments of silence, we end with the meditation commentary. So when you have been experiencing it, maybe one thought would be coming in your mind that can we sustain this when we go back? Will it be easy? Will it be difficult? A very beautiful thing which we learn here is that Rajyoga meditation is not just a method by which we sit down and have some moments of silence, but it is more like a way of life. यहाँ से योग सीखना नहीं है, योगी जीवन बनाना. So when you talk about Rajyoga meditation being a way of life, it means 24 hours. Morning to night, whatever I'm thinking, feeling, our responding, our dealing with everything which is happening to me and my responsibilities at your service is being guided by Rajyoga. So I live a yogi lifestyle. Until now, whenever we heard this word yogi, jivan, we had a little bit of concerns, How can we be a yogi? We are in the field, and not only in the family, but also in the work field, which somewhere is to protect the country. So many situations of chaos and stress which come in front of you when you need to take those important decisions, guide people, deal with situations, be always in the forefront, throughout the day be in intense activity. Yes? And then how can we be a yogi? So somewhere it feels that this is different. Yogi means just sitting there, and maybe these sisters are all sitting there, and maybe brothers also, very white and they don't have much to do, so they will spend their time sitting and meditating. And many of us seniors will be interacting with, guiding the whole organization. And I was mentioning about the Janki Way, the most stable mind, where she has always in database, and I was coordinating all our international centers, expansion. So throughout the day, we find that even those who are dedicated brothers and sisters, and even those who keep coming as volunteers, we have some of them in the group also, you can interact with them. So there have always been intense responsibilities, intense activities. And yet, living a yogi lifestyle means the connection with the self is natural. They've always been connected with themselves, their inner power, their inner silence, their inner virtues, their qualities, their true self. And yoga means connection with the divine. So 24/7, that connection with the Supreme becomes natural. Throughout the day, there's this sharing, interaction, guidance, which we are constantly experiencing from the divine. Now, how does that help us? Like suppose if you are even connected to a person who's more experienced to you in your field, you're responsible as a CEO there in a position, in your command, in your service station, and it's a new responsibility, and you have a very close friend or a close senior with whom you can connect with very easily. That person also has fulfilled their responsibility as CEO in the same station. And if you are able to keep connecting with this person, it becomes easier for you to deal with the situations because you have a connection with someone who is more experienced, who knows what to do, what's right, what's wrong, and will constantly be available to guide you. Yes? Becomes a little easier. Your connection with your seniors is much more open, more friendly, more light. Becomes easier wherever you are working. And so here we have this beautiful connection with the Supreme. हमारी बुद्धि बुद्धि वालों की बुद्धि के साथ जुड़ी रहती है. And so the higher wisdom keeps guiding us in small little situations, very simple and difficult situations also. Sure. It's an accessibility which we have, an access to the divine, to his wisdom, to his support, to his unlimited love. So we've always till now seen him as someone who's higher above, and we know him now because we have gone through the session of knowing him as the Supreme. But we always feel that he is there, but maybe I can connect with him sometimes when it's needed. So here we have a daily access, natural access, like a child has the access to the parent, like your children have access to you. Is there a limited access or an unlimited access for your children? You're sitting here and they can still call you. And you'll see them call. And you excuse yourself and you go out and call them. Yes? Maybe if it's from your workstations, wherever you are, your postings, if there's a call, you'll see them and say, okay, I'll call them back after the session. But if a child or maybe some family member close staying with you is called, you try to go out, especially if it's a child. You go out and just take that little moment to call, check, and you'll say, okay, it's not so important, can I call you after the session? Yes? Why do we do that? Even when you're in the important meetings, when you're at your post, at your service,
Responsibility to acknowledge.
you want to acknowledge your responsibility.
Child needs you.
Child needs you, yes.
We are connected through emotions and everything.
Yes. So the relationship of parent and child is so close, there is constant connection, emotional connection, and accessibility is provided naturally. Yes, there's no question of a child needing to think before he calls up his mother or father. Yes. So then naturally throughout the day, the child is talking to you, or you talk to your parents, or maybe your life partner, or maybe someone else in your family when you're close to your friend. In the same way, this relationship with the Supreme, that I would see myself as his child. But here the Supreme is the one who's the ocean of wisdom, the ocean of strength, the ocean of love. And so I have access to this unlimited source of all virtues and qualities. And it's a very, very important access which the Divine gives us at this time. When He reminds us that because we are His children, हम उनके बच्चे हैं, इसलिए बालक सुमालिक हैं. We are heirs to every virtue, quality, power, whatever I need from Him. I have the access, but I also am, naturally an heir to all that. अधिकार है, हर गुण शक्ति पर अधिकार है, अनुभव पर अधिकार है. So if I am in a moment where I think there's this important decision I need to take, I can talk to him and say, well, this is a decision which is needed. I'm your instrument, guide me. You have to get this work done for me. That much of accessibility and closeness is that in that connection, where I can transfer all my burden to him. Be available as his instrument, the burden is his. He has to get it done. Like the child has all, right over you, yes? So even if you would be sitting in an important session and maybe the children are loud there and the child insists, no, I need this, he will listen to the child, go out, pacify the child, come back. And so in the same way, constantly throughout the day, connecting with the Supreme. So योग माना हमारा मन बुद्धि का योग ईश्वर के साथ हर प्रकार के संबंध से whichever relationship is needed at that time, I use that relationship. So at work, he's the one who's the senior there, the commander in chief there. So I am his instrument. परम रक्षक तो वही है, सुप्रीम प्रोटेक्टर तो वही है, जो भी कार्य आप कर रहे हैं रक्षा का जिम्मेदार तो वही है. So it's your responsibility. I am there as your instrument. You have made me worthy as your instrument, trained me, empowered me. Now, you're with me, the ocean of strength. You have to get this done through me. I remember you, your strength comes with me. Your wisdom comes with me. And I allow that wisdom to guide me. And use that in my daily life, in my daily responses. And so we find here, it is a way of life. Keep it like this, because I don't want you to see it. And so we find that as a way of life, when we see it, it's not just a method, but it's something which I can learn first, but maybe slowly, once I start practicing it, it becomes natural to me. It's like driving. So in the beginning, maybe we go to a school, driving school, and we try to.
Connection issue. You're working it out.
So if we maybe go to a school and then we try to learn the method, and they guide us with some steps. You should do this first, then second, third, fourth. Yes? Remember, years back when you went to a driving school, or maybe some of your senior friend, or maybe your relative or your parent taught you. So they guided you with few steps. Do you remember them today also? When you drive? You drive in the same way in which you were guided with years back?
Yes.
Maybe at a subtle level, that guidance remains. But exactly those steps?
No. Little bit.
Because now it has become your natural reflex. And we have so many people in cities. The city I come from, Mumbai, we have people in the morning rushing to work. And we find them, maybe some of them have not completed their breakfast also, it was late. So they have their sandwich in front, and with them, they sit hurriedly in their driving seat. And then they also maybe are meditating every day, and they want to keep in connection with some good inputs, because now we have guided that we should begin our day with some good inputs also. So they have some music or some meditation or some bhajan or maybe some lecture. And they also now are eating their breakfast. But then after some time they start calling up someone in the office and checking, because yesterday some instruction was given. Has it been done? Has it not been done? Okay, today this important meeting, get this done, do this. Yes? You can relate to that. Sometimes you will be doing that similarly. Yes? So some of you will not be driving at that time. But we find that they are doing so many things. Now who exactly is driving? Because they are eating their breakfast, they are listening to something, they are talking to people, planning their meeting. So who is driving? It's become natural. In the same way, Rajyoga meditation. So now we'll just have a few steps which we'll understand, but after some time these steps will not be so relevant. It will be your natural experience, you practice. And then it becomes easy for you. The basis of meditation, and as such as it is a basis of remembrance of any person, whether it's a friend, or maybe it's a colleague, or maybe it's someone, maybe in a group like this, where you've attended a program together. The remembrance of that person, the basis is, there are few aspects. So first we just see why it's called Raj Yoga. Raja means the highest, राजा माना मालिक, जो मालिक है। अब ये योग हमें अपने जीवन का मालिक बनाता है। अब से कभी भी हम अपने आप को उस विक्टिम की अवेयरनेस में नहीं महसूस करेंगे। क्या करें, ऐसा हो गया इसलिए मैं अपसेट हूँ, क्या करें इसने ऐसे कह दिया इसलिए मैं दुखी हूँ। हमने समझा ना शिवानी बहन से, कोई हमें कुछ कह सकता है, गलत हमसे कर सकता है, लेकिन दुखी होना, परेशान होना ये किसका चॉइस है? तो ये जो मालिकपन है जीवन में वो प्राप्त हो जाता है, जहाँ औरों के मालिक नहीं बनते। आज तक हमने क्या किया? औरों के मालिक बने। आपको तो पोजीशन में होता है और आपको करना भी पड़ता है, अगर आपको जिम्मेदारी है, you have responsibility, so you have to somewhere guide people. Today no one likes to be controlled, we understand, whether it's children or whether it's your team, but guiding them becomes very, very important, giving them instructions, getting things done because you're responsible. But rather than controlling people, we start becoming ones who have this natural sense of control over ourselves. अपने जीवन के मालिक बन जाते हैं, अपने शरीर के मालिक। वो भी हमने देखा कि सोल इज सेपरेट, आत्मा शरीर से निकल जाती है तो क्या होगा? ये शरीर का कारोबार स्टॉप, ठप हो जाता है कारोबार। फिर ये शरीर को हम क्या कहेंगे? दीपा भी नहीं कहेंगे, दीपा बनकर शरीर कहेंगे। वो आत्मा जो है फिर वो नए कार्य के लिए आगे चली जाती है। तो इसलिए हम समझते हैं कि शरीर की भी मालिक तो आत्मा है। If the soul leaves the body, now the body is not functioning, no? So it's a dead body. But we have people today who, through their lifetimes, only they decide that they would like to support people even after death. So we have this organ donation. And so that body, the eyes are supporting someone, each part of the body is supporting someone or the other, gives life to people, yes? And yet those organs are dysfunctional in that body. Yes? Eyes can see, that's why it's being donated, and somewhere else it is being helpful, that person gets vision. But इस शरीर में आंखें काम नहीं करेगी, क्यों? शरीर को चलाने वाली जो शक्ति है वो नहीं है, मालिक जो आत्मा है वो नहीं है। So I, the soul, is the master, separate from the body and yet the master. तो इसलिए राजा भी बनते हैं, और किस आधार पर? योग के आधार पर। अपने साथ भी संबंध है कि मैं आत्मा शरीर से अलग हूँ, और परम शक्ति के साथ भी संबंध है। तो आत्मा का परमात्मा के साथ संबंध, उसको ही हम राजयोग कहते हैं। किसका किसके साथ संबंध? अब तक जब हमने प्रार्थना की, योग किया, अभ्यास किया, जो भी हमने ईश्वर के प्रति आराधना की, whenever we had those moments of prayer and devotion with God, the awareness was of the physical body. So the physical body was trying to connect with the Supreme. And so what happened is that the connection was not so close, but the experience was there because we were in an environment where people together were having devotion, prayer, and then we had very beautiful vibrations over there. Every spiritual place, you see the vibration is so peaceful, so pure. आप मस्जिद में जाएं, आप कहाँ गुरुद्वारे में जाएं, आप मंदिर में जाएं, हर जगह पर वाइब्रेशंस कैसे होते हैं? शांत, परमात्मा की याद की, ईश्वर की याद की, रिमेम्बरेंस ऑफ द सुप्रीम, शुद्ध होते हैं। तो वहाँ की वाइब्रेशन, एंड देन द डिवोशन, द सॉन्ग व्हिच इज बीइंग प्लेड, द वर्ड्स व्हिच आर बीइंग uttered, जो भी हम देखते हैं, हम शब्दों का समय प्रयोग करते हैं, उस शब्द में भी ऊर्जा होती है। वो शब्द ईश्वर के साथ बुद्धि का योग लगाने अर्थ होते हैं। जो भी श्लोक आदि उस समय उच्चारण किए जा रहे हैं, जो गीत या भजन गाए जा रहे हैं वो सारे वातावरण को शांत और शुद्ध और ईश्वर की याद उसमें समाई होती है। द वाइब्रेशंस आर ऑफ गॉड्स रिमेम्बरेंस। तो वहाँ बैठकर हमारा मन ईश्वर से जुड़ जाता है। लेकिन आत्मा का कनेक्शन परमात्मा से अभी हुआ नहीं है, इसलिए आत्मा के अंदर शक्ति नहीं भर सकती जो वो फिर सारे दिन में अपने कारोबार में प्रयोग कर सके। तो कुछ समय के लिए शांति का अनुभव होता है, शक्ति का भी अनुभव होता है, पवित्रता का अनुभव होता है, ईश्वर से समीपता का अनुभव होता है। But when we come back to our daily life, what happens? We get again involved in all that, and these experiences just get, they just remain something like a sightseeing. We had some in the morning, but today, now, at this moment, I can't access that peace, that purity, that connection with the divine any longer. Here, we find we need to connect the soul with the Supreme. आत्मा का परमात्मा से योग, और इस योग से हम राजा बन जाते हैं। अपने शरीर के भी मालिक, हर कर्म इंद्रिय को हम मालिक बनकर यूज करते हैं। अभी भी यूज कर रहे हैं, देख रहे हैं, सुन रहे हैं, बोल रहे हैं। जब आपको प्रश्न पूछते हैं, आप बोलते हैं। So now also we are using our sense organs. But am I the master? Someone just enters now during the session and comes and sits in front, or maybe on violins. तो क्या हो जाता है? हमारा ध्यान चला जाता है। You see that person who came and sat here, or maybe the sound came उस मोबाइल। Yes. So हम इस शरीर की कर्म इंद्रियों के मालिक नहीं है। चाहते नहीं थे डिस्ट्रैक्ट होना, फिर आगे चली गई। अब ब्रदर हैं, कुछ न कुछ थोड़ा सेटिंग कर लें, वो अपना कार्य करें, मुझे उन्हें देखने की जरूरत है। तो आत्मा मालिक है, मुझे जिनको देखना है वो सम्मुख है, उन्हें देखना है। तो आत्मा मालिक बनती जाएगी। You become naturally a master, natural sense of control without pressure. ये वर्ड कंट्रोल है ना, थोड़ा सा डिफिकल्ट है एक्सेप्ट करना। नहीं, मिसअंडरस्टैंड हम करते हैं। हमको लगता है हर बार हमें अपने आप को कहना पड़ेगा, ये नहीं देखो, वो नहीं बोलो, ये नहीं करो। वो तो बहुत सफोकेटिंग है, नहीं? लेकिन ये नेचुरल हो जाएगा। आत्मा मालिक बनती जाएगी अगर बहुत प्यार से, ज्ञान की समझ से वो कर्म इंद्रियों को दिशा देगी। It will channelize each sense organ to follow love, patience and wisdom. मन, बुद्धि और संस्कार के मालिक, ये सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट। शरीर के तो फिर भी मालिक बन जाते हैं, ये सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है इनर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन। मन के मालिक, मन को मैं सारा दिन जिस चिंतन में रखना चाहूँ रख सकूँ, बुद्धि को जहाँ एकाग्र करना चाहूँ वहाँ एकाग्र हो, जो गुण जो शक्ति को यूज करना चाहूँ यूज कर सकूँ। परिस्थिति की वजह से कोई संस्कार मुझे परवश न करे। So whatever quality of thoughts I want to create, I can guide my mind, keep giving, offering my mind some of the other positive thoughts throughout the day. Throughout the day, I have to offer that. I have to provide that. If I don't provide the mind with positive thoughts, with creative thoughts, with powerful thoughts throughout the day, what will happen? The mind will pick up thoughts on the basis of the content it is getting. जो हम देख रहे हैं, जो हम सुन रहे हैं, अब यहाँ तो बहुत अच्छा कंटेंट मिल रहा है, तो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा हमारे संकल्प यहाँ क्या होंगे? Easy, light, positive, interesting, creative, productive. तो जब हम कारोबार में वापस जाएंगे तब क्या होगा? तब तो कंटेंट जो है बहुत और चीजें भी होगी। So you have to keep providing, loving, मन को ऊर्जा देते जाते, because the mind is thinking throughout the day. तो उसको हमें संकल्प देते जाएंगे। It's like that child, who's playing and maybe has got hold of these maybe a little nail or something, for some carpentry work was done there, and that baby is playing, so हाथ पे वो nail आ गया है। अब you realize that there's a nail, and so you want to pull that nail gently from the child's hand. Does the little baby give it? Mostly you'll find that the baby is, the more you pull it, the more the baby wants to hold it. And then what do we do as a parent? Yes, we have to give the child something. Why? Because at that moment, the child as a child doesn't have the power to discriminate. If this nail is going to harm me, doesn't have that discrimination. It's innocent in that way. But for that moment, that nail is the child's toy. And it likes to play. So there's something new and it's just being wanted by the mother, so that means it's more interesting. And so it wants to hold on to it. Until you give it some other toy which is a little more interesting, then it doesn't mind. So actually it doesn't have anything to do with that nail. And surely it doesn't want to hurt itself. But that discrimination is not there and it needs to play. So the mind throughout the day needs to play with thoughts. And the more discrimination, that is the more wisdom you fill in the intellect, it will guide the mind what quality of thoughts to be created. But today it doesn't have so much of wisdom. So it starts creating a lot of thoughts of worry, anxiety, fear, stress, something negative. So very lovingly you have to keep guiding the mind throughout the day, giving it thoughts. स्व के साथ योग, अपने आप को सारा दिन कुछ कुछ अच्छे विचार देते जाए और फिर ईश्वर से योग, उनसे बातचीत करते रहना, क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं वो जब हम शेयर करते हैं मन की बातें, we receive that guidance. Like we have always someone in our life who can be that guiding force for us, or maybe just a friend, or maybe someone whom we can chat with, especially in moments where we are a little confused. Yes, you can reach out to that person and talk. Yes, each one of us has someone like this. And we want to talk to them at that moment. The same way we develop that close relationship with the Supreme. And so throughout the day we keep talking, sharing, and allowing His strength or His wisdom to give me those inputs. Now, basis of remembrance, there are 4 aspects. One is knowing someone. So here also, when you came to the program on Thursday evening, you didn't know anyone. Some of you knew. You maybe have come from the same place, nominated from there. But some of you didn't know some people. Many people you didn't know. But you had a conversation with someone. So you start getting introduced to each other. Yes, so that's the first step. So we didn't remember each other at all, but now we started getting connected. And we found that they are from the same room. And somewhere you choose to sit in that position, and that person also comes and sits next to you. So after some time you find that that person also sits there, you also sit there. Then you talk to this person, maybe after a session, during tea or during lunch. And so now there's a relationship. Now, after 2-3 sessions, if you don't find him around you, he will not come. He is not attending the session. So remembrance is there. Now, with sharing, somewhere your ideas match. And there's a lot of good feelings of care, concern, which you start sharing with each other. Yes? So maybe you want to keep a seat for him, or maybe you don't feel, you go up to his room and ask him, and he's not well, so you try to get something for him. So when there is love which is shared, now the remembrance is much stronger. And after some time, when you still keep connection with, after even going back here and you're together, and maybe you spend time, and then you start seeing that person as a part of your family. And then remembrance becomes natural. Forgetting is difficult. The same 4 things apply to the Supreme. First of all, knowing Him, very important. Who He is and who He is not. So always that fear was there. That God is there, sitting there, punishing us. Always wanting to discipline us and punish us. बैठकर हमारा भाग्य भी लिखता है. तो जो कुछ है उसने लिखा है. अच्छी चीजों के लिए तो थैंक हम नहीं करते, लेकिन जो नेगेटिव चीजें हैं उसके लिए तो उनको रिस्पॉन्सिबल होल्ड करते हैं. कभी भी कुछ ऐसा हुआ कि भगवान की मर्जी, भगवान की मर्जी. Now we have understood who writes our destiny. It has been very clear. So we know who he is now. What is his role? In the most difficult situation of my life, what is his role? Now it's understood that he's always there as a parent, as a support system, as a friend, who's always there to give me strength. But I need to take that first step of courage. Because if he starts supporting everyone on his own, then karma to law hoga hi. So he gives us that opportunity. And so we find that relationship with the Supreme is now very close. वो हमारा है. And so here many times you must have heard the volunteers saying, they use this word Baba, Supreme, Father. More than Supreme and God, and though maybe we yesterday understood that his name as he reveals is Shiv Baba, still we find that we don't call a parent by their name. None of us call our parents, or none of our children call you by your name. We always say Daddy, Dada, Dad, Papa, or there's so many different words, names. But more than the name, it's the feeling which is important. And so here many times you hear the word Baba, which is being shared again and again. And we always think Baba means somewhere connected with this founder which we have. And we've seen in the meditation room, Vikashya Brahma Baba. We'll be hearing the history by Suresh Didi also tomorrow. And so it is not the founder when we are talking about when we use the word Baba. It is the incorporeal Supreme, whose introduction was revealed yesterday. And when we talk about the founder, we say Pitashri Brahma Baba. But when we are saying Baba, it is connecting with this Supreme Father, who is the father of each one of us sitting here, the incorporeal Supreme. And so my relationship with him is through introduction and my relationship. So now I no longer need to ask anything. आपके बच्चे को आपसे कुछ मांगना पड़ता है. पहले भोजन बनाती है मदर, तो आकर वो आपको किचन में मांगता है, मम्मी प्लीज एक रोटी दे दो, प्लीज मम्मी. कहेगा कहेगा जो भी बना है पहले कहेगा मुझे चखना है. नहीं, आपके प्लेट में से भी खाने का अधिकार है उसको, है ना? है ना? मांगने की तो बात ही नहीं. वो कहेगा मुझे ये चाहिए, ये आप लेकर दो. छोटे से छोटा बच्चा, आप देखो मॉल में जाता है तो हर चीज उसको चाहिए. मम्मी को तो लेना है या डैडी को तो लेना है. So that authority. So I no longer need to ask, I need to experience. You are the ocean of love. Your love is mine. You love me as I am. Your love heals me. So every virtue is mine. Paramatma ka pyar, it's something which just needs to be experienced. So the more closer the relationship will be experienced by you, you will enjoy his love as a means of constant availability. Constant availability, constant support, just a thought away. पर वो रिलेशनशिप थोड़ा बनाना पड़ेगा, बातचीत करनी पड़ेगी. किसी के साथ भी संबंध बनाने के लिए कनेक्ट तो करना पड़ेगा. जितना ज्यादा हम बातचीत करते हैं, शेयर करते हैं, वो संबंध समीप हो जाता है. And so fourth is experience of attainments. Your day-to-day life will be supported by me. I'll share you one of my experience also later. So it's like understanding, seeing myself as a beautiful light, as this being of light, the master of the body, separate from the body, the living driver of this body, or maybe the pilot of this body, which is like a flight or airplane, or maybe the captain, the body being like a ship, whatever you would like to relate to, any analogy which you like to see yourself as. So seeing yourself, the soul, separate from the body and the master. And then the Supreme as the divine light. Why? Because the form cannot be separate. Child and parent form cannot be separate. I'm a human being, My physical parent will also be a human being. Mother and father will be human beings. Yes. So child and parent form cannot be different. No. Elephant, parent has to be an elephant. Yes, cannot be a horse. Same form. I, a being of light, a point of light energy. My spiritual parent is also a point of light energy. The supreme in all virtues and qualities. And when I have a relationship like we are children of our parents, so we and our parents separate. You are the parent of your child. You and your child separate. Yes. But what virtues which you have inculcated in your children. Your parents also have given you virtues. So I, the soul, is separate from the Supreme, but we are like the Supreme in virtues and qualities. But because now our connection is disconnected for a long time, we cannot experience those virtues. Relationships we have seen, each one of us has our personal relationship, but we know that He is our parent, our father, guiding us, our mother, always accepting us. It doesn't mean being a mother means just having a female body. There are many brothers who are very good mothers. Yes? Physically father, but very good mother. And many mothers who are very good fathers. No? So it's a quality of the soul here. And so here the Supreme also gives us that experience as a mother, unconditional love and acceptance. As a friend, constantly available to listen to you. Any moment. Listen to you without any judgment. Yes? Important. Especially when we have made a mistake. It's very easy for us to connect with Him. Because then He allows us to then realize, okay, what has been the impact of the mistake, how we can change. So He's a loving friend. And then a teacher every day teaching us. So here we have our daily spiritual study. At this moment only, morning, 7 to 8, we have our study. So all of us have to study. I have to go back and read it. If I am not listened to it before this, I can read it before I come also. So it's like the daily sharing through those inputs, but also every day. Throughout the day when I'm talking to Him, I will find that He is also teaching me through situations, through people. Her situation, every situation becomes a teacher. हर परिस्थिति से ईश्वर हमें सिखाता है, लाइफ ट्रेनिंग लेसन्स. हर व्यक्ति से जो हम संपर्क में आते हैं, उनसे भी हमें सिखाता है. बहुत सुंदर अनुभव सिखाता है, समझाता है प्यार से. और जीवन साथी 24 घंटे आपका साथ निभाता है. Quality of God's love is magical, so pure. It's always unconditional, always available for every soul, even those souls who would have done so many wrong things. When we go to Tihar jail, we have our center in Delhi, Alinagar, and I think it was mentioned in the inaugural session also, Shukla Devi is looking after that center, and I think in the 90s when Madam Baby was there, that is the time we started having programs. There are many NGOs working in Tihar jail who are helping the jail inmates. So we also have a center there. And the center inside will be managed by them only. So from them only there are many brothers who now regularly meditate, and they are taking care of the activities, so the music, everything they are doing. So there, and you really don't have any feeling also, awareness also that they are separate. And the way they meditate, the deep experiences, so God loves us as we are and helps the soul to heal, to come back to its original nature, to give them realization so that they can change, to give them the power to change. That's God's love. And then daily level, so many virtues and qualities will naturally start, increasing in your life. There are those virtues, but sometimes we experience them, sometimes we don't. Like patience. We have patience, but for some people, we get a little impatient, yes? Happens like this. In some situations, we get a little hyper. So the Supreme's remembrance slowly increases those virtues and qualities. And so what happens to our weaknesses? The impact becomes less and less. They get deactivated. And they come to some level that we can completely change them. Now the exact method, as we see, it's like understanding the method, but slowly you practice, the steps are not really important, but your experience, your connection becomes very important. The first two important steps is withdrawing and contemplating. So these two are the action steps. Concentration and realization are experiential steps. What I will experience with regular practice of meditation. In the beginning, you will feel you will have to sit and practice. But after some time, when you start enjoying those moments, it will not be just sitting and practicing. It will be like creating that space for yourself. You start enjoying. Okay, now I have these 2 minutes. Let me reconnect. You'll enjoy those moments. They will be like those little drops of time which you will create for yourself, which you will enjoy throughout the day. So here we have every hour a little song being played. So that's that moment of meditation which we experience. Morning time, as we have seen, brahmakumaris, the best powerful time. At night before we sleep, evening time. निमा शाम का जो समय है, संध्या का समय, that's also a very beautiful time for meditation. Now these first two steps, withdrawal is disconnecting from the outside. Now this is natural. Whenever you sit down in your office to work on some issue where you need to take a decision, or maybe work on a presentation, you are working on your laptop, after maybe doing that day or maybe the next day you need to give a presentation. You need to speak about that. You will be in a meeting where people will ask you questions, your seniors, you need to present that. So when you're focused on some activity, what have you done? You have disconnected yourself from other routine activities. Yes, so automatically, this is something which we do every day. When we need to sit and finish something, we withdraw ourselves from other things, we focus there. Then when we want, we come back to our routine. In the same way, we create that time for ourselves. So these moments, 3 minutes, 5 minutes for myself. So I withdraw from my roles. I withdraw from my roles, my responsibilities, my relationships with people, my routine. We just talk about these 4 R's. It's not just the R, but just to remember. Roles, whatever you have, your responsibilities, or this I have to do as a parent, this is my responsibility. At your commanding, where you are commanding chief, that's your responsibility. Then your other roles also, maybe as a friend and other responsibilities. So you disconnect from that. Disconnect from all these relationships, from all that routine work, and you know that these moments, you're with yourself. You created that space. You have only one responsibility to be with yourself and enjoy your connection with the divine. मन बुद्धि को हम समेटते हैं. हम मन बुद्धि को संकल्पों से बाह्य जगत से समेटकर अंतर की जगत की ओर ले आते हैं. So we have this beautiful word which is called antarmukhi. To withdraw means to become antarmukhi. Maybe the word sounds a little difficult. Antarmukhi means introvertness, but it's very easy. Antarmukhi means every physical organ, the direction is within. So I'm seeing, but now who? Myself. So it's through my mind's eye that I see. These eye, I disconnect for some time. I'm seeing within. Hearing, but not from the outside, hearing myself. Hearing the Supreme. Speaking, not to the outside world, to my own self. And to the divine. Yes? So हर कर्मेंद्री का रुख जो है, उसकी दिशा जो है, अंतर की ओर, अंतर्मुखी. And so then I spend that moment to disconnect from the outside, and then when I am with myself, then I disconnect from the awareness of my physical identity. to the spiritual entity. अपने आप के साथ तो है, लेकिन फिर ये देह की स्मृति ही नेचुरल है. So that practice slowly we start enjoying. And for that practice, seeing myself is very important. So I visualize this light. So every time we have this commentary, we guide you. मन बुद्धि के द्वारा देखो सुंदर light को. You must know why this light has to be seen. But the more I see it, the more I feel myself separate. Like as the driver, when I'm seated in the car, I see myself in the position of the driving seat. I'm separate from the car. I'm the master. I'll never forget that. No? It's a natural awareness. I don't have to see myself again and again. Oh, where am I seated? Oh, where am I seated? It's naturally in my awareness. In the same way, I, the soul seated here, that's my driving seat, separate from the car and the master, the controller. So being separate and yet the master, that step of withdrawal. Second step is of contemplation. Okay? So meditation is like a meeting which has been arranged with someone important. Meeting will come. Now when you have to have a meeting with someone, what are the aspects important in the meeting? First, the agenda. Why are you meeting someone? Yes. What else? Venue. Where you are going to meet. Okay, the time. Okay, then maybe whether it's a formal or informal meeting. So your dress code, that's very important. And then the language which you need to communicate. Okay? So here also we find that it's a meeting with the self and the supreme. So here I decide the venue, which is the venue. Now we can meet the divine anywhere because we can remember him anywhere. Yet we find that when we meet someone important, we want to meet them in our office. Or maybe more better if there's a meeting room. No? Some of you have a bigger office and you have that space of a meeting room. Or maybe I've seen it many times in your offices also. You have one space where you have the table and chair, and then you have a small little couch and you have few sofa and something there. So there you sit down and have those important personal meetings. Why not in the reception area?
Outer distances.
Maybe that is a little bigger also. Yes, disturbance. So the Supreme lovingly reminds us that in this physical world, there are so many things which you have to do and so many responsibilities and so many people whom you are interacting with. It's like the reception area. So come to me in that room of silence, to the world of silence. There you naturally get disconnected from the body consciousness because there it's only the soul which travels. And so very lovingly he says that's our meeting room. Let's sit down and talk, share, meet. And that's why we connect ourselves to the world of silence. So first, who wants to meet? I, the soul. Where? The world of silence. And whom I'm meeting there? My Supreme Parent, my loving Father, Mother, my friend. So I visualize the Supreme as this beautiful light. And what is my communication? Language will be through thoughts. No? Where it can't be words. So man mukh ban jayega. Mind becomes a mouth. Like I'm speaking to you through my mouth. And I'm seeing you through my eyes. That's how we communicate. If I ask you something, you're seeing me and you will speak through your mouth. Here मन मुख बन जाएगा ईश्वर के साथ बातचीत करने और बुद्धि नेत्र बन जाता है चक्षु to see him. ठीक है? तो मन और बुद्धि के द्वारा ये हम बहुत सुंदर परमात्मा मिलन का आनंद लेते हैं. So we are visualizing him, first the venue, then the Supreme Father, and then talking to him through our mind. संकल्पों की भाषा है. और वो संकल्प भी कौन से? स्नेह के. The language of love. आप यहाँ बैठे मैं आपको कहूँ आप अपने डॉक्टर को या सन को याद करें जो पेरेंट्स हैं तो याद कर सकते हैं. अब आपने क्या किया? जैसे मैंने कहा डॉटर सन आपने उनको देखा. कैसे देखा? मन की आंखें बुद्धि देख लिया और उनके बारे में सोचना आरंभ हो गया. इस सेशन के बारे में बात भी करनी थी. इस समय क्या कर रही होगी, जब छोटे हैं तो क्या कर रहे होंगे, आज तो संडे है, आज ये वहाँ ले जाएंगे तो भी आपका एक पेरेंट वहाँ है, आज तो समय है उसके पास, या फिर कहाँ और आपने प्लान किया है, कहाँ गए हैं, अच्छा उनके पास गए हैं, छुट्टियाँ हैं, तो तुरंत वो कॉन्वर्सेशंस बच्चे के साथ आपके मन के द्वारा आरंभ हो जाए, because the relationship has become very close. In the same way, when I have this close relationship with the divine, मन से उनसे बातचीत आरंभ हो जाएगा, बुद्धि से उसको देखते रहेंगे, मन से उनसे बातचीत करते रहेंगे. So that will become very, very easy. Now this practice will slowly give me an experience of focus, concentration. धीरे धीरे मन उस परमात्मा प्यार और सुख के आनंद की अनुभूति में एकाग्र होता है. Maybe few seconds, that's fine. आज 2 सेकंड के लिए एकाग्र हुआ, that's absolutely fine. शुरुआत के लिए वही बहुत अच्छी बात है. धीरे धीरे होगा. अभी ड्राइविंग सीखा है और कोई कहे कि 2 घंटे दूर ड्राइव करके ले जाओ अभी, तो नहीं कर सकते ना, थोड़ा प्रैक्टिस करना पड़ेगा. और कोई कहे नहीं रात में हाईवे से उदयपुर लेके जाओ, अभी तो प्रैक्टिस ही नहीं हुई है, वो तो 6 महीने के बाद थोड़ा सा किसी के साथ में 1-2 बार जाऊंगा, फिर कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाएगा. In the same way, today I will not have so much of focus, today I will not have so much of concentration. It's okay. Just a feeling of sharing and talking to the divine is also a very beautiful experience in the beginning for meditation. Slowly, that internal, stability will come. Slowly, that deep feeling of love with the divine is coming. Slowly, those virtues will be experienced. It will become natural. But in the beginning, guided commentaries will help you. It's that like a child who needs support. छोटे बच्चे को आप चलाने के लिए कहो और बिल्कुल उसको सहयोग नहीं दो, चलेगा? इनिशियली तो उसको सहयोग देना पड़ेगा ना. And when you are helping the child to walk, holding the child's finger, guiding the child, you are completely sure that within a few days, months, what will happen? आराम से वो इतना दौड़ेगा कि आपको फिर दरवाजे बंद करने पड़ेंगे, वो दौड़ के बाहर ना निकल जाए. पता है, it's just a phase, the child is just growing up. That phase is there, that is crawling now, and slowly starts, walking with support, and then there comes a day where it starts gently taking those steps without support. And so we know that that's just going to come. In the same way, our mind, हमारा मन धीरे धीरे एकाग्र हो जाएगा. शुरू में हमें थोड़ा सहयोग इसे देगा. So very lovingly, we'll give it some moments. Create a space in a house, a little silent space, a corner, a meditation corner. Have a chair which is comfortable, maybe a soft light, with little music, commentaries, all that the brothers and sisters or the center will help you to find. And then that little guidance or support which you give the mind, it will start experimenting and enjoying meditation. And then after some time, that becomes natural. It becomes an experience of natural support throughout the day. And then our lifestyle changes from within. बाहर से कुछ नहीं चाहिए, आपको कोई white पहनने की जरूरत नहीं. You will have a little question because you will find all these volunteers wearing white. Now because they come to Mount Abu, they want to also enjoy that feeling of being dedicated in God's service, in God's love. So this uniform just reminds us of our quality of life, which has to be pure. So ये white पर अगर दाग लगेगा तो क्या है? दिखाई देगा. इसको स्वच्छ रखना बहुत जिम्मेवारी है. ऐसे मन को भी अंदर से एक भी थॉट इधर उधर नहीं जाना चाहिए, क्योंकि we are instruments of the divine. So वो एक जिम्मेवारी का भी एहसास है और वो शांति का भी अनुभव, पवित्रता का भी अनुभव. तो इसलिए ये यूनिफॉर्म है. But that's not necessary. So whenever they are in their work schedules and when they come to morning in our centers, they don't wear white. Sundays sometimes, that's also choice. यहाँ white रहना वो important जरूर है. So nothing changes from outside. It's actually everything that changes from within. And if changes from within don't come, then I could be in white, but not in red. And sometimes maybe that is also experienced by us. We have many brothers and sisters who are in the work field, who are in their family, whose spiritual stage is much more powerful than us sisters and brothers who are dedicated. So the dedication is here. And so here we are like in a school together, learning and experiencing and experimenting with meditation and spiritual wisdom, and the race is open. You can move as high as you want. Those who have a dedicated life, they have an opportunity. So we have more opportunities to create blessings. But it's actually the brothers and sisters who are in their work life, like you, in their family life, who are practical role models. We just sisters are there to manage a little bit. So Mount Abu, we are dedicated brothers who are managing their work here. In centers, we have few sisters who are dedicated because we have to just look after the centers. But aim of Rajyogam or aim of brahmakumaris is not to dedicate your mind and heart. मन बुद्धि का समर्पण आवश्यक है. So it's not just the dress, it's just the feeling. So this change which happens is that slowly soul consciousness becomes natural. We remind ourselves lovingly and we start enjoying this feeling of soul consciousness. Then what happens? Till now vices were automatic. गुस्सा जल्दी आ जाता है. अब अंदर से लाइट, इजी रहना ज्यादा अच्छा लगता है. तो आ भी जाता है अंदर से गुस्सा, हम अपने आप को प्यार से करते हैं. इजी रहो. अगर कर भी लिया फिर अपने आप को समझाते हैं. थोड़ा इजी रहना. सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा. So virtues we start experiencing and using in our daily life. Negativity पहले ऑटोमेटिक लगता था. पता नहीं कैसे मैं क्या करूँ, सिचुएशन ऐसे था, इसलिए ऐसी चिंता हुई, ऐसे स्ट्रेस आ गया, मैं क्या करूँ. So something here was automatic. We thought automatically we have been pulled in some negative vicious circle. Now we understand here we are the master. We have choice. तो अब वो समझ में आ गया कि यहाँ I am the master, I have the choice. तो इसलिए अब हमारा समय व्यर्थ जो जा रहा था वो बच जाता. चिंता करने में कितना समय चला गया. हम कहते हैं ये काम करना है, लेकिन वो काम कर रहे हैं या उसकी चिंता कर रहे हैं. चिंतन और चिंता का अंतर पहले नहीं समझ में आया. बच्चे लोग चिंता, बच्चे तो हैं लेकिन वो तो परमात्मा के ब्लेसिंग्स है, उनके साथ उनकी शक्तियाँ हैं, वो तो बहुत अच्छी तरह से आगे बढ़ रहे हैं. हमें अपना रोल प्ले करना है. तो वो चिंता करना जो जरूरी महसूस होता था, अब हमारे संकल्प पॉजिटिव पावरफुल होते जाएंगे. ऑटोमेटिक लाइफ महसूस होती थी, अंदर कुछ अंदर की संस्था पर कंट्रोल नहीं था. अब समझ में आया कि हमारी चॉइस है. बहुत सारे सुंदर अनुभव आपको मिलेंगे. In the most difficult moments of your life, yogi life means God's loving support. So I was just sharing a little experience months back in July, where I had a single parent and I'm the only child, and that was a time when the mother was not well, and maybe she has been a yogi for more than 50 years, and I was just very young, 4 or 5 years when she gained this spiritual knowledge. So she's also been the one who has initiated me, and I have been staying in the center since 37 years. She has been living alone and managing her life, financially, everything very well. And that was the time when, the body was not well, and she took a decision that she wants to now move again. She was already 87, age was fine, but she took that decision herself. So, no medicine now, because some little complication was there, so she had to be put on a rice tube. So she decided. That was a little difficult moment for me, personally, because it's like few days, maybe it was 6 days, and a parent refusing water, refusing medicine, refusing any treatment. So in the beginning, there was a little guilt also. Maybe I'm not able to take care, or maybe I understand, or maybe I should support. And after a few days, 2-3 days, there was this experience of complete surrender. And I knew that whatever is happening is very good because the soul has chosen. Where issues always has been a very, very nice and determined soul. And yet it was not so easy. So some moments used to come where I used to feel that, whether the soul is in pain or what I should be doing and what support I should be giving at this moment. And I had a lot of brothers and sisters from the center taking care, helping me in the hospital. And that day, when she left her body in the morning, in this brahmakumaris time, that's the time when I felt this very deep connection with the Supreme. It was like, taking over. And from that moment, there was no fear, there was no worry, there was no concern, and there was only one thought that I, as God's instrument, has to help this soul in this journey to move away, to move towards the divine. And then, because it was a hospital in Mumbai where Brahmakumaris Global Hospital is running that hospital, the SCS hospital. So somewhere it was our own hospital. And so we had access to the doctors, and I had already spoken to the doctor. So the doctor had told me what would happen in the end. And so by the evening, the time came when now the BP was going down. And this experience of complete support, it was like the Supreme takes over. And the awareness that I am the daughter, she is my mother, also was not there. And it was a very beautiful soul who is now moving beyond, and I have to become God's instrument, His angel to support this journey. And so it was after some time that I started giving commentary. We had this meditation, we all shared this commentary. I was giving commentary for more than an hour or so, and then the soul left the body in that moments of meditation. And that was an evening time, that Sandhya time, and she had always been, that was her favorite time for meditation, and that was the time when she left. And those moments were so beautiful. It was more like an achievement rather than a loss. The soul finally had, achieved this beautiful experience of moving in God's remembrance and being guided by someone who, at a physical level, was also the daughter. And that experience is magical. So the Supreme is with you in every moment. And even those situations which are very difficult, this is one of those, I think, maybe most one, difficult one, just takes over. So there is some effort which maybe we can put, but after some time, we need to just surrender. And He takes over, and He guides you, gives you the strength, and allows you to get that thing done with so much of strength, with so much of stability. So every moment in your life, it's not just a difficult situation, but every moment in your life you will experience this support by the Supreme. And so I'm sure you will make use of this opportunity after you go back from here also to connect with the center. And then sustain your spiritual journey. So let's again spend just a moment and then we will finish our session. This moment that I can do and openly allow my mind to reconnect with myself, मन बुद्धि के द्वारा अपने अंतर की दुनिया को देख रही हूँ, मन की आंखों से अपने दिव्य स्वरूप को महसूस कर रही हूँ। मैं आत्मा शुद्ध शीतल एक सुंदर सितारा भ्रुकुटी के मध्य चमकता हुआ, मुझे आत्मा से शांति की वाइब्रेशंस, शांति का प्रकाश चारों तरफ फैल रहा है। ये शांति की लाइट मेरे शरीर में भी प्रवाहित हो रही है। शरीर बहुत शीतल और स्थिर हो जाता है। मन बुद्धि के द्वारा कुछ समय के लिए मैं आत्मा एक सुंदर यात्रा आरंभ करती हूँ। मन की आंखों से अपने आप को देखिए, ये सुंदर सितारा इस आवाज की दुनिया से पार शांति की दुनिया में पहुंचते हैं। मन की आंखों से परम धाम को, शांति धाम को देख रहे हैं। सुनहरी नाग प्रकाश का महातत्व, जहाँ मैं आत्मा परम पिता परमात्मा के सानिध्य में हूँ। मन की आंखों से उस परम ज्योति को निहार रहे हैं। सुप्रीम लाइट, डिवाइन लाइट, वो प्यार का सागर है, पवित्रता का सागर है। मन की आंखों से देख भी रहे हैं, महसूस भी कर रहे हैं परमात्मा की असीम शांति की वाइब्रेशंस, परमात्मा के पवित्र प्यार के प्रकंपन मेरे मन में, मेरे हृदय में समा रहे हैं। God's pure, unconditional love flowing towards me, healing my mind, my heart, giving me this deep experience of closeness to the Supreme, my parent, my loving friend, my life partner, my true soulmate. The Supreme very lovingly promises me that every step of courage I take, His support is always there with me. He will guide me, strengthen me, heal me, experience God's blessings, allowing my mind and heart to enjoy this abundance of God's love, blessings, power. I feel strengthened, loved, cared for, and I come back, holding on to this richness of my experience. I come back in the present and become aware of the environment around me, and look within. I cherish each moment which I spent in God's company. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Didi, for taking us through the steps for meditation technique, which is step by step. If you remember it,